Hello, welcome to Game 4 of the match, Catdontbark versus UltimateGeek. UltimateGeek's up 2-1, and Catdontbark's going first in this second game. I think with a 5-2, I like Delve Count. Count seems like a good card here to thin quickly. The only villages we have are Silk Merchant, right? And we kind of want to do Horn of Plenty stuff. So, I guess Broker is a village. Broker's a village if we can get enough draw. So maybe we do end up doing Cultist stuff, try to do Broker. It seems tough to align that deck to work. But you get Cultist, then you get a Broker, and Broker can let you trash a Cultist for 5 actions in the cards or something, and you've got some villagers with Silk Merchant to line it all up. And again, just like Count to get thin really quickly seems pretty reasonable. I don't think I like Investment. Maybe Investment Ducat just feels quite slow to me. But so they went with Investment. They went with Ducat, Silk Merchant, and top decked it. Yeah, okay, they're just doing Cultist Money? Is Cultist Money a deck? I would not think of Cultist Money as a combo or a set of things you'd want to do. You're clicking Cultists on 5s and then Delves on 4s and 3s? The runes run, I feel like the Count deck can take care of all that junk and then play Horn of Plenties and gain provinces very quickly. Treasure Trove Broker can also be interesting in terms of Treasure Trove giving you golds, and then Broker trashes the golds for the actions you need to play all the terminal draw. The problem with that is you do need to terminal draw all the things. I guess you can also Broker the Silk Merchants. So maybe that says we want to play with Cultists. Catdontbark is just really embracing, though. They're going to give out a bunch of runes and then have a ton of Silver Flood and see how that goes. UltimateGeek, I think, is trying to build a little bit more varied deck. So this is a spot here without Mountain Pass. I think I take 5 silvers. With Mountain Pass, I think I buy the Mountain Pass here and force my opponent to bid something awkward. Like, UltimateGeek can't bid 14. That's all. I don't think they can even bid 12. I think they have to bid 10 and be really sad when Catdontbark takes it at 11. Because if they bid 13, that's just 4 turns until they can do anything with that. Oof. I don't know why Catdontbark took that debt. It's going to be a long time before they can pay it off too. But UltimateGeek would have been 3 turns before they could pay off. So they've got 4 now, plus the 3 coffers. So they would have still had 6 more debt. And Catdontbark could have done 2 big delves into this clean shuffle and then had a much, much better deck going into the greening phase. As we see here, UltimateGeek was even able to buy a Horn of Plenty, which they would have been able to buy anything. And this is 8 money, so they would still be in 5 debt if Catdontbark had given them the debt. They couldn't have bought this Horn of Plenty and gained this extra things. They'd just be much, much further behind, even though the score would have read very similar. I feel fairly strongly that UltimateGeek needed to bid 10 there. Although, that being said, they bid higher than I thought they could bid, and Catdontbark took it. So in terms of sort of gamesmanship, game theory, sort of poker theory, UltimateGeek made a very good bet, because I think they overbet, but if your opponent takes it, then you can't really complain. You can't really complain about them having taken it. So perhaps they made a good bet, knowing that Catdontbark was gonna blink and bid higher than they needed to. I would have just very happily let them have 13, and they would have had a slight lead, but they'd have had to pass. They wouldn't have this Horn of Plenty. They would have a much worse deck, and my deck would have added like 6 silvers into this shuffle. That being said, we've sort of come out of the other side of the debt game, and Catdontbark just has this 15-point lead. And it's not really clear to me how UltimateGeek builds up back to enough cards in hand to be able to do the Horn of Plenty kind of mega turn stuff. Catdontbark should just take 3 silvers here. It seems fine. If you're doing the Silver Flood, do the Silver Flood. They took a Cultist, which is awkward, unless you draw all the Cultists together. And I mean, UltimateGeek's going to get a little bit thin with investments, but they're just really, really far behind, unfortunately. So it looks like this is going to be a tied match. After Catdontbark stole first player in the first one, and then UltimateGeek did the really nice swap deck in the second one. And the third one was the weird Cathedral game, and now into this one where Catdontbark's got a 28-point lead. There is 8 extra VP in the game, so 50% VP is higher than normal, but so there's 30, 54, 62 points left. So plus the 30, so that's 92. So 47 is 50% VP basically. So still Catdontbark needs to get a couple more provinces to seal the deal, but their deck is much more suited to province, I think, even as of this shuffle. Next shuffle it starts to get a little bit tighter, but I think they can add a bunch more silvers. Honestly, probably Catdontbark can start buying duchies in this situation. They're really not going to go down to the estates, which means they just need to kind of hit 42, which is 1 more province and like 3 duchies, and that pretty much seals it for Catdontbark. So that could be what they look to do here. Grab a duchy. I think 3 silvers is also reasonable here. We'll see what they pick. I'm not seeing anything else. A count is unreasonable because they have all these cultists, I think, is the issue. Yeah, so we're going to see UltimateGeek here getting their first province, turn 17. They have done quite a bit of work with investments. Their deck has started to thin out, but they just don't have a ton of draw. And it looks like Catdontbark is committing to the cultist life. Interesting. It doesn't seem super useful to me, but we'll see. And I assume Catdontbark, as UltimateGeek here, I think you just get another Silk, maybe. I don't know, the Silk pile's running. They've got a 22-point deficit. You might have to buy a duchy here if you want to try to stay in the game. So Catdontbark isn't following the same strategy that I followed when I did the math before about just starting to pick up duchies now. They wanted to empty the cultist pile and to hit more provinces. So they need to hit basically 2 more provinces completely seals the game. And UltimateGeek has to start taking duchies now. Honestly, UltimateGeek can take this province. Maybe not. I think maybe just take 2 duchies now. Get to 18. If Catdontbark gets 1 more province, I don't really see how UltimateGeek wins. So maybe UltimateGeek does need to take this province now and hope that Catdontbark misses province 3 turns in a row and UltimateGeek hits it 3 turns in a row. That may be their best route to win. Because taking double duchy now, you're still down by 11 and you've lost all your coffers. Duchy, delve. Yeah, so now Catdontbark should be buying duchies, and it just gets really hard for UltimateGeek to catch up. Broker can trash gold here for 6 coins, and they can buy a province. That seems reasonable. I think UltimateGeek tried a little bit too hard to build a deck. I think if they had gone for count, although they didn't have the 5-2 split, obviously, but I think maybe count or like a broker silver type opening rather than the ducat silk would have gotten them closer. They did end up making what turned out to be a good bid because their opponents kind of overshot the bid. Ooh, investment is 5 VP in this hand. Interesting. So when I was calculating 50% VP, I was not calculating investments. Very interesting. That's a lot of VP that they're adding right now. Wow. Yeah, I was not tracking that at all. They didn't trash that. Okay, they got 4 VP. They've only got one more investment in deck, but I guess now you just take 2 more investments and hope to do the same thing next shuffle. Wow. Yeah, investment is a new card. I've not been playing with it enough to see the setup there. And obviously they have lots of coppers and silvers. Finding the ducat and the horn was pretty unlikely together, but given these hand sizes, but that was quite a nice turn. I think you use horn to gain an investment, and then you buy a duchy here as Ultimate Geek. I think investment is more likely to be worth more than a 3. Like horn, you have to find with five uniques to get a duchy, versus investment you just have to find with copper silver. Interesting broker. Ouch! Catdontbark keeps hitting like 7s. And again, I think if they'd done more delves instead of cultists, they would be more likely to hit 8. But somewhat unlikely occurrences, and somehow Ultimate Geek is still in this game. They can definitely trash this for what, 3 VP? I mean, they may not get another draw, so I think you just take the VP now. And then Horn of Plenty can gain an estate, honestly. I think this game ends before this shuffle is over. It's not 100% clear to me, actually. Horn could gain another investment. You could just continue to play it out. At some point, I think Ultimate Geek does want to try to end the game, though, and may want to take a province here. But I don't think using that many coffers. I probably would have just taken 1 estate there rather than the province, rather than spend 3 coffers to get a duchy. Yes, this was quite unlucky shuffle for Catdontbark that kind of lumped all of their money together, making it somewhat tough to do. And we're seeing here. So yeah, if Ultimate Geek had taken an estate last turn, they'd have 2 less points, so the double province line doesn't win. And they're out of investments. They've got 1 investment. No, they're out of investments. They've still got 2 horns. They've already played 1. I think this is just buy a duchy estate. I don't like spending coffers here. Yeah, the problem now is the duchies are the 3rd pile. Oh, this is interesting, though. We can broker a cultist for coins. We can broker a silk merchant for coins. We can buy 2 provinces then, right? That's 5 and 9, 10. I think Ultimate Geek had a win in hand there. Cultist, we had 6 coffers. I think if they broker cultist, broker silk merchant, we have a win in hand. Sorry, broker silk merchant first, broker cultist, but it looks like they found it. Wow. What a comeback here. Somewhat unlucky draws for Catdontbark, but wow, nicely played out by Ultimate Geek. They stayed in it even pretty far behind and are able to win the match 3-1. I kind of missed the investment line, which Ultimate Geek used to come back. Brokers came out key, and good wins for them. And these players both have a couple more matches to go in the medium games tournament, which will be going on the next couple of weeks. If you're interested, the Size Games has their own Discord. There's a small games, a medium games, and big games. Although big games is taking a cycle off. So whatever your rating is, there's a tournament there for you, unless you're very, very highly rated, like one of the top 50 players, 100 players or something. So thanks for watching, and please leave a comment, and have a good night.